questions for Coach. We'll start with you, Greg.
Hey, Gerad, take a look at Allie Jennings for me. Tell me his growth. I mean, he didn't play a ton early, but seemingly being more and more involved late.
Yep. So Ali is, he really had a good offseason during, what was our offseason, which was a lot longer than normal, as we know. But he really just, slow start more than anything because of, an injury. So after he's gotten through a hamstring and really gotten back to being healthy, he's starting to come on and give us some significant minutes and reps out there during the game and starting to do some good things. So really more than anything, he's getting healthy and being able to practice full speed and play at a faster level, which has allowed him to get on the field some and help us as we play multiple guys.
Michael Sussman, go ahead.
There's been a few close losses this season, some missed opportunities. What's your message to your guys as far as trying to find that guy that can step up late in the game and make the big play?
Yeah, it's, anytime, of course, we've been in close games. I guess we played 7 now. We've been in every game, and especially in our 3 losses, there's been critical plays during those games that have affected whether we win or lose. Anytime you lose them, you got to make more, and anytime you win them, you probably made them. So there's really it's been everything we've kind of tried to get our guys ready for and prepared for as you go, making critical plays during critical times and trusting your training within those and not abandoning it. And that's really it. I think if you can wire guys up to be ready for those moments and just do what we're coached to do, and we put them in good spots, we'll continue to make plays we need to finish games. And that's where we're at. Coach Brown and them have been here a year before me, but we're as a program in year 2. Last year there was times where we really showed promise and then kind of fell short on some things and maybe weren't in some games. And whereas now in this year we've been in every football game, we're competing at a high level, and you're talking about fourth quarter football games that Coach Brown's talked about the entire year. And certainly we missed some chances to be even better at that, and we've got to pick ourselves up and be ready for it this week because we're expecting another one this week.
Cody Nesper.
Hey, Gerad. I asked Neil this, but what's kind of the philosophy for when to go for it on 4th down? Do you have like a sort of guidelines based on field position or time of the game or anything? Or is it all on a kind of case-by-case basis?
Yeah, I know. It's a good question, Cody. I think there's like all the science and the analytics behind it, Cody. That tell you what to do, and of course then it's feel, and I think that was the biggest thing, like case by case of where we were at, when to go and when not to. Of course, when you get them, they're great calls, and when you don't, you're going to get scrutinized or discuss it. I think more than anything, like you could go down a litany of things, Cody, like how many timeouts you have left, right? How the game has went, where we're at point total wise, how many are we down, just so on and so forth. Can you get back down there? How do you feel about that? How, like for us, I think a big piece of it was, to be fair, like how were we, we hadn't been very successful on 3rd and short and 4th and short earlier in the game, which buys some mental real estate, to be fair, So I think it was kind of at that point where you're making decisions based on how you've done in previous plays within that game. How the game's gone, the flow, all those things factor into it of a go, no go, and you agree as a staff and make solid decisions and see where it takes you. That's an honest answer.
Charles Montgomery.
Hey, Coach. So Neil Brown talked about this on Saturday following the game, but Isaiah Esdale's performance, he really stepped up, had kind of a breakout game. What have you seen from him in practice and throughout the weeks in his preparation?
Yeah, no, proud of Esdale, and I think more than anything, not to give a cliche answer, but it really is this. He hadn't really started the year the way that he would want to. Every one of our guys play, and they earn that right to play through how they practice, their practice habits, and their ability to make plays and play with great effort. So really big compliments to Esdale for being able to stay the course. We've thrown him and played him at different positions, inside, outside, and all over the place, and he's embraced it. He's really changed his practice habits and improved his practice habits, practiced really hard, kind of had a no-nonsense mentality about it, and that approach has led him just to being involved, and then he gets a chance to really rotate in and got an opportunity and really started and boosted us and made 3 contested catches within the game, which is something we spent a lot of energy and time on. And he really did a great job with those things and stepped up in a big way. And I think it's just being prepared when your number's called to make plays and not worry about maybe how it hadn't have went earlier in the year. And he was ready for his moments.
Mike Kizaza.
Hey, Gerad, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. Neil said that Letty is, I guess I didn't put a word on it. Sounds questionable. You'll know later on. But do you feel good enough with Alec to bump him up to soak up extra carries? Or do you find a way to incorporate Mathis and or Sparrow more? And then separately, those two guys we haven't seen very much of, where are they at and how are they doing?
Sure. Yeah, they're all doing well. Guys are preparing the right way from sink field down. The guys, we do a cool thing twice a week where we let our young guys that maybe not get as many reps as they would get during the game on Saturday. So we rep those guys on Mondays and Thursdays and get them some time out there to get better. Our young guys are getting better, no different for those backs. The guys don't get a rep as much. And, of course, we believe in all our guys, and we certainly believe in those guys that will have to step up all across our board. Of course, with Letty, with anything out of respect for us and how this stuff gets watched and everything, we won't discuss anything injury-wise out of respect for the program and for Coach Brown. Those are his questions, not mine, so I will respectfully stop there.
John Antonik is next.
Yeah, curious what you see from Gary Patterson's defense, particularly in the secondary. I know in the past people have talked about he does unique things to maybe rob plays or whatever, and there's opportunities elsewhere. What do you see from what they do?
Yep, he's done it a long time at a very successful level and as well one of the most respected head coaches and coordinator minds in the country in my mind. And it shows up on film. His guys play hard. They've got answers for everything you do. If you get him once, he'll have it fixed the very next time. They route match as good as anybody will play against what you put on film. Their guys trade off stuff very evenly across the board. They communicate well. They're oiled up. They know exactly what they're looking for and why, where their eyes go next, and it shows on film. So what better compliment to a defensive staff and to him as to see that on film. It shows itself with every clip that you put on about how well they're oiled up to match what you do in the route game.
Okay, Michael.
I asked Coach Brown about this earlier. The individual receiving stats are pretty widely distributed. Wright, James, Simmons, and Ford Wheaton are all between about 40 and 60 yards per game. Is that something that you like to see, or are you waiting for that more dominant guy to kind of emerge?
Yeah, I personally, I think with a lot of things, you got one way to go with it. I think right now for where we're at to build the morale of the room, we have youth that's maturing in front of our eyes and getting better and better each week. So what better way to build morale, build maturity than get those guys out on the field so we're not fighting similar issues in a year from now. So guys are getting significant playing time. They're playing at a higher level and still growing and making mistakes and learning from it, which allows you to be in a lot better place when we line up for spring practice and next fall. Instead of fighting similar issues and worrying about depth, we're playing between 6 to 8 wide receivers each week, which makes it a very enticing place to want to come play as a young recruit. And it also makes it a place that it keeps morale high here in-house if the guys practice at a high enough level and are good enough to go out on the game day and perform, and they've shown to do that, and will continue to grow with each other doing it.
We'll take these last two questions. First, Ryan Pritt.
Hey, Gerad. Obviously, the road home splits are pretty well known now. And this is your first year with the team, and what is one of the longest travel of any team in any conference in the country, obviously. Like you said, and like Neil said, offensively, you're just a player or two away in most of these games. But I'm wondering if you've seen any discernible difference from being on the road and at home, or if it's just a case of you're playing tough opponents and we just didn't make the play when we needed to make it.
Yeah, I mean, of course you have. It's a great question. I think if we care the way we all do in-house, and you look at everything you do from play calls to staff preparation, road, home, all those things factor into, because we care a ton. We care for our guys and care as a staff, and so you're looking at everything you do. So we'll constantly do it, but you certainly don't look back and say, man, I wish we would have prepared differently or anything. It's really just a matter of, You know, it's like I told you guys 2 weeks ago when we didn't play at the level we needed to at the receiver position at Texas Tech. We didn't prepare any differently. We didn't coach them any differently. We didn't prepare any differently when you got a bad result. And then, you know, of course, you look at it when you get a good result and you got to coach the same way. So it's certainly something that's gotten brought up with 7 games where 4 have been at home, 3 on the road. So we've got to keep on finding ways to press buttons to finish games on the road the way we have at home. But I don't think it's something where you look at something as far as schedule or how we've prepared to really put a finger on it.
And Keenan Cummings, go ahead.
Hey, Gerad, how do you feel that Gerad Day's operating in the offense right now? I know you mentioned, his leadership capabilities in the offseason. It looks like he's getting better and better and understanding more every single game.
Yeah, I think we as a staff obviously feel great about what he's doing. I mean, if you get judged on a guy that finds 35 completions in a game and what he's done over the last 3-4 weeks, I think more than anything he's become, you know, we talk a lot at that position as a staff of him being a decisive decision maker. And taking care of the football. So his accuracy's going up. His leadership skills have went up. He's taking care of the football, knock on wood, and put us in position to not lose turnover margin. And it's put us in a position to win football games or be in them. So we're very happy with where he's at. And like everyone at every position, we're going to push him even more to get better and be even better than what we've been so we can finish games and keep on climbing this ladder.
Coach, thank you very much.
Thank you all.